AM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Welcome to INCRadio South Central State Satellite Studio. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Today, we're going to talk about cars and what to look out for when choosing a daily driver. There are lots of cars out there. There are a lot of nuances to this. There's a lot of options to pick, old, new, all-wheel drive and whatnot. So we're going to start with the question of the day, which we're going to post in the chat. What do you look for when choosing an automobile? What do you look for? Now, I'm joined by panelists here today. We'll start with our panelists here in studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Rome.
And then we're also joined through the internet. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is AJ.
All right, I got AJ and Rome here. You go by Rome, right?
Yes.
All right, so I guess we'll start off by answering, what do we look for ourselves when choosing an automobile? But for me, it used to be had to have a manual transmission. Love driving a manual, but I got to where I cannot do it anymore. I can't do it in this traffic. What about you, Rome? What do you look for?
Well, it's kind of easy not getting a manual anymore because they don't really make those. I wish they did make more, but it did get a little harder for me as well driving a manual because I have a bad knee. But maybe using more manual will be able to work out my knee. As far as picking a car, probably thinking about practicality now more than anything. Before, you always wanted to get the hottest, newest car out there. But now it's more about practicality, especially if you have a long commute to work. Make sure you have good gas mileage. You're thinking about other things like maintenance and insurance. So those are kind of different factors that I look for when choosing a car.
Yeah. If you hear any banging or knocking, they're working on a roof at the moment. You have to excuse that. But AJ, what about you? What do you look for when you choose an automobile?
Kind of the same things that you guys said. I did. My first car was, it was an old school car, but my next car after that was a stick shift. So I do like driving a stick shift. They're really good on gas, but nowadays I'm looking for something that also serves not only commuting to work, but also my recreational purposes. So I'm always having a car that can do something, more for off-roading as well as good gas mileage and getting me to work.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, we are not sponsored by any brand. We're not supporting any brand in particular. We bring up any brands. Just want to get that out of the way. You mentioned, AJ, supporting your lifestyle, and I agree with that because when I bought my truck, which is the latest vehicle that I got, I went from a stick shift manual car, which I love driving, to a truck. But I realized I really need to be able to move things around, especially since I like to help out here at church. You always need a truck, but it also helps out, like when you say recreational, because I know, especially if you have four-wheel drive, if you like to go to far out places, the road conditions won't always be the best. And
Right.
I know you got a Jeep. You ever take it off-roading?
Oh, yes, plenty of times. And that's one of the reasons why I got it, because we like to camp and go off-roading. We've done some river crossings. So having 4x4 capability is high on my list as far as what I look for in a vehicle.
What about you? Do you take in consideration the recreational purposes for you and your family?
Oh, most definitely. So I have a small sedan, and I'm big on carpentry, woodworking, building things and such. It kind of looked a little, weird having lumber just sticking out your window, having to tie, red ribbon around, trying to not hit anything on your way out. So I definitely upgraded to a pickup truck. Now I don't do the off-roading or anything like that. So just getting a rear-wheel drive for me was good enough. I didn't need any power, so I ended up with a 4-cylinder turbo. So I still got a nice truck. I get compliments on it all the time, but just have the functionality of having the big bed to put the lumber into. So
Yeah, trucks are great for that. I mean, just throw everything in there.
and I got a crew cab, so I'm still able to fit my family of 5.
Yep.
You know, so they have plenty of space in the back. It's actually really spacey in the back. They don't kick my chair or anything, so they have space to do activity back there.
Now, is your truck 2-wheel drive or does it have 4-wheel drive?
No, it's strictly rear wheel drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. So, like, they have different drivetrains for vehicles. The common ones are front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive, and they're all different. Here in Texas, maybe, I mean, for the most part, I think 99.9% of the time, you don't need 4-wheel or all-wheel drive.
No.
But I wanted to get everyone's thoughts, especially you, AJ. What do you think about that? All-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Do you think that's really necessary? Because they do like to market that people.
It depends on your preference and if you're gonna have to drive like in snow conditions. Because I know out here sometimes we get the freeze overs and snow conditions, and I've seen plenty of people get stuck or spin out with just having just rear wheel drive or just front wheel drive. So for me, I had to get 4-wheel drive because my wife has to go to work no matter what, if it snows or not. So I'm driving her to work in those conditions. So I had to get both 4 vehicles before we'll drive. That way, I can make it out of any kind of conditions that are out here.
Yeah, and if you can't get all-wheel drive, if your vehicle's front-wheel drive, and you of course easily find that info on the internet if you're not sure. That and some good tires, and you should be okay with slippery conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Usually your tires are the biggest factor, because if you have all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, but your tires are bald,
You're still going to end up not going anywhere.
About reliability. Okay, let's talk about reliability. That is a big thing right now. It is often assumed that like newer cars are more reliable than a used car, but I'm finding the case that is not always true. So let's think about, how do we determine if a particular vehicle is reliable? Like, we're trying to choose. What do you look for, Rome?
I think you got to do some research, right? Make sure the brand that you're going for, the type of vehicle. If it's in Korea, you also want to just, for me, any vehicle can be good or bad. It all depends on how well you take care of it. The maintenance. My dad used to always say that the oil is the blood of the vehicle. So if you at least change the oil, everything's still going to run pretty well. So I've at least done that. At least every whatever they recommend. The other day, someone was telling my wife, like, don't wait till the light turns on. You still might want to do it a little earlier than that, because waiting that long for you to change oil could be a little detrimental to your engine.
Right. I know a lot of newer cars, they say every 10,000 miles should be good. Most mechanics I talk to, though, they say 5,000. They don't recommend waiting for 10. If your car is very, very new, though, probably wouldn't worry too much if you were somewhere between 5 and 10,000.
Yeah.
And you could, of course, go beyond. And as long as that's the only time you forget, it should be okay. But if you have an older vehicle, definitely keep up with the oil changes. What are your thoughts on reliability, though, AJ?
I don't think it really matters if you buy a brand new or a used car. I bought a used car back in 2006. I made sure it had low mileage when I bought it, but I mean, that car lasted me from 2006 to 2021. And it was a used car that I had bought, and I had no issues with that car at all.
Like when I was doing research on this truck, it's a Ford truck. If you look up like Ford trucks and if they're reliable, there's a lot that are not reliable. There's a lot. Yeah. That's just the reality. The way you want to do research, though, is just look at the the model, the specific model, and the year, because year to year it can change.
All right.
1 year they might have made, garbage on wheels, but then they would have fixed it for the next year, but then it would be only specific for the engine. So we've been saying before, when it comes to reliability, do your research and really pin it down to that specific, engine year that you're looking at. Now, let's go ahead and go to our thinking cap questions. All right. So, who invented the first automobile powered by a gas-powered internal combustion engine? Is it A, Henry Ford, B, Sir Isaac Newton, C, Carl Benz, or D, Elon Musk? Drop your answers in the chat. We will reveal the answers at the end of the show, but go ahead and just drop the letter into the chat. And of course, we have one winner every month, the top performer. And yeah, so keep in mind, gas powered. Okay, one of those should be obviously wrong.
Little hint there.
All right, let's go ahead and jump back on topic. Let's talk about like premium features in a vehicle. Okay, do you like them? Do you not like them? And what I mean by premium features, you got your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, heated seats, all these little extra amenities that, let's just say, wouldn't have been around in like a 90s car, right? Beyond like air conditioning and your power windows, because some of us we remember this. What are your thoughts on premium features? Do you need them? Do you not need them?
Like I said in the beginning, I'm all about practicality now. So when I was looking at my truck, there's each model and make has trims. So based on the trim, can give you more or less features, right? I have the base model, which is the very lowest, minimal features. I don't even have like those little dials for the transmission. I have one of those full things where you select drive and whatnot.
The column shifter.
Yeah, the column shifter. Yeah. So at that, I could have gotten a nicer truck with a bigger screen, but mine's more of like a 5-inch or something like that. They all do the same thing. So it's kind of down to preference, right? For me, as long as I can get into gear, I'm good. If I can see my GPS, I'm good. So I don't necessarily need those higher end features.
Do you like it though when like your phone can plug in and then you can get the Android Auto? Do you like that? What are your thoughts on that?
Mine's hooked up through Bluetooth,
okay.
So I'm not tethered down. Can't hold me down.
I like Android Auto, but it can be like really laggy. And I realize, I really like just the aux cord. I'll just plug that in. I don't even like Bluetooth anymore because I notice like sometimes lag with the Bluetooth. So I've kind of gone back to, I think the aux cord for me is the peak.
Mine does disconnect every now and then.
Yeah.
So it does get annoying.
Yeah. What about you, AJ?
Yeah, mine.
Premium features.
I do love having the Bluetooth. I mean, I remember when I used to have to write down my directions where I'm going and hold that paper next to me for my turn-by-turn directions. So I definitely love having that GPS feature, having my phone be able to connect. But I just use the Bluetooth to connect it and have all the maps and everything on there. I'm not sure why, but I've had that disconnect issue when I plug mine in and not when I use the Bluetooth. But yeah, I definitely love having those convenient features. I'm a heated seat type of guy, heated steering wheel. I like both of those because I don't like air conditioning and my wife loves it. So I use the heated seat and heated steering wheel to keep me warm when she has the AC on in the winter.
You know what's funny? I actually think that a rear view camera is a luxury because back in the days we never used to have that. And so to be able to have that in the car so that you could back up, I think that's still a luxury because some of my sister's cars don't have it. And when I drive their car, it makes it more difficult.
I agree.
You know what feature I do love though? So in my wife's SUV, so that's the one vehicle we drive all together because my wife can't drive my truck. I have a key fob, and whenever I open up the key fob, the seats automatically adjust to my preferences. When she gets into the drive, it automatically adjusts to her preferences. So I'm not in there like having to fiddle around with the seat every time I get in. It's just automatic. I love I love that feature.
You know, I
Yeah,
feel like a
that's-
lot of those really cool features, like they were playing around with that like in the 80s.
Yeah.
They were throwing all sorts of stuff in. But if you remember cars from the 80s, like that stuff was constantly breaking.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have not seen issues with, like you said, those automatic seats and everything. So cross our fingers that like that doesn't break, because I know when electronic stuff breaks,
Oh yeah.
that's it. It's done.
Might have to throw
those
some-
automatic seats they've been around for a little while. I know my friend had a 2007 like Infinity that did the same thing. So that I think he never had any issues with his, and even our last car we didn't have issues with it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, check the forum, especially if you're buying an old car.
Yeah.
Just if it has that features, be like, are people saying that this thing breaks?
They have a lot of crazy features now. Have you seen
Yeah.
the ones where like a driver can talk to the person in the third row, and like if in a van or something?
Like
Like
an intercom?
It's like an intercom. Why? Like I remember back in the day, my dad would turn around and say,
Yeah.
better be quiet or I'm gonna turn this thing around."
Yeah.
Like now they could just turn on the intercom and say, be quiet.
One thing they had in the 90s they don't have now is the automatic seatbelt. You remember that? It
Yeah.
would follow the door
Oh,
As soon
frame.
as
man.
the door closes, yeah.
It runs across your face as you're sitting there.
Messes up your hair.
All right, I'm gonna turn to my tech. See what comments we got. I'll go ahead and read them out. Let's see. Jerry Hill from Biloxi. I bought my current vehicle new 2 years ago. It currently has 68,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So I look for fuel economy. You know what? That is a very good point. Fuel economy. My wife, who is a real estate agent, she has to drive all over town. Said you
Mhm.
need to prioritize that,
Yeah.
because she had a V6 before and she hated filling it up and how much it cost. If you get a truck, by the way, you can look forward to like $80-$90 fill ups.
Oh yeah. My cousin had a luxury SUV, and he was going, back and forth trying to fill it up. He switched over to a hybrid van. So
AJ, what are your thoughts on fuel economy?
Oh, I like the hybrids. I've been looking at some of the hybrids, and I know some people who have them, and I mean they do a lot of driving, but they only have to fill up like twice a month, and I really like that, not having to pay for gas very much.
Yeah, so we have a hybrid and we have a truck, so that
you
covers our.
balance.
Yeah. All right, let's get another comment. Let's see. Ray Velasco. When I was young, I prefer speed. All right, I think that was all of us. And the looks. Now I prefer dependability and gas consumption. Yeah, very true. Like as we get older, our tastes have to change. Like,
Well, Fast and Furious happened.
Yeah.
all right, let's get into the comment. Is there any more?
They are getting better at, putting both of them together. The looks and the fuel economy.
Yeah. Lo Anderson, my first car was a beat up Camry that overheated, and I had to run the heater on high in the summer to cool the engine. Thanks, Dad. Yes, that is a little hack my dad taught me too.
Yes.
If your car is overheating, you can blast the heater, send the heat from the engine into the gas.
So you know what, we had to do that in our car, but we were kind of mean because not only did we have to turn on the heater really high in the summer, but then we locked all the windows so that whoever was riding couldn't roll down the window.
And maintain that aerodynamics.
Yeah, I had an old Buick in the windows. All four of them broke, and I'd replaced some of them, and I got tired of it, so they just stayed up.
You ever have that window where you had to put the power window up and you kind of have to help it up? All right, I got it. All right.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to our second thinking cap question. Go ahead and drop more comments too, by the way, so we can read them again. The ABS, which helps vehicles stop under slippery conditions, stands for what? E, anti-lock brake system. F, automatic brake system. G, automobile brake stop. Or H, automated brake slipping. Go ahead and drop your answers into the chat. And ABS, you need to know if your vehicle has it or not, because if it doesn't have it, when you go to slam on the brakes, your wheels will lock up. And if your wheels are locked up, your stopping power is reduced tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have ABS, you'll notice like when you had to slam on your brakes, you hear like I guess like vibrating or anything, and it's your wheels just gradually making sure it keeps turning.
Right.
That's how that works, the ABS. So drop your answers into the chat, and let's go ahead and talk about safety features. Okay, so back in the day, most safety features would have been just like, here, you get a seatbelt.
Seatbelt. Yes.
And then they added airbags. But nowadays, in more modern cars, we now have like these automated systems that like keep you in your lane.
Yeah.
You know, they warn you if you're kind of drifting off.
Yeah.
Because I know in my truck, they don't have any of that. It's like, no, buddy, that's on you. Stay awake and stay on the road. But my wife's car is different. I find that I'm fighting the steering wheel
Yes.
because it thinks like, hey, you need to be over here. And I'm like, what is going on? And I notice like after I drive my wife's car, like forearms are sore from fighting this vehicle the whole time. What are your thoughts on that?
Those safety features are definitely a double-edged sword, like you said. It's really good. You know, then people do tend to rely on it too much. It can be bad. You know, they might say like AI is taking over and whatnot, but if you're driving, the safety features I like are like the ones that keep me from bumping into anything. So like the rear view camera or the little sensors on the front bumper keeps you from bumping because sometimes it's hard to see. I remember back in the day just going the back of my dad's pickup truck, running around back there. You know, there was no while you're driving, just running around back there. So, but yeah, the safety features are really good. I do like. I just did a long drive going back home, and when you're on cruise control, you can adjust the following distance.
Yes.
So, like if someone's in front of you, it can automatically adjust for speed to match theirs. You're not having to completely constantly adjust the speed. So.
I think the only problem with that is like someone's behind you. And you're like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with this guy? This guy's just like hitting his brakes randomly.
Yeah.
But AJ, what are your thoughts on safety features?
I love our new Subaru. It has I mean it has a lot of good safety features. I think they might have gone overboard with some of them. Like it has this infrared thing that scans your eyes. So if you're not looking at the road, it tells you to pay attention.
I think Amazon drivers have those.
Yeah, like if you're staring down at your phone, it will tell you to pay attention. If you keep doing it, like if it notices you're dozing off, it'll tell you to take a coffee break. Like it literally flashes that on the screen, like take a coffee break. But it has pretty good features. I mean, it does the lane keep where you set cruise control and it will drive for you, turns and everything. You don't have to touch the steering wheel.
You know, I tested it out on my wife's car. I'm like, how good is this thing at keeping me in the lane? And I was taking like an exit, right? And I'm like, all right, let's see if it does it. And it wouldn't. Like it just decided like, nope, turn too sharp. It's on you, buddy. And I was like, whoa, okay.
There's some with parallel parking too.
I have not experienced that yet.
I mean, I see the commercial, but I don't know if I feel confident enough on my car.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to tech, I'd rather just get more information, like you said, like if I'm going to bump into something, rather than it being like, I'm taking over, buddy.
There's also some safety features as far as like when it comes to your insurance. Have you heard of that? Like
I would not.
They
discounts.
like something into your they give you discounts based on off your driving habits. It's either like a chip that you put into your computer thing or it goes off your phone.
My friend told me he had something like that, and he jumped on like a flight. It was like he was reporting him for speeding.
Friend Vin Diesel or something.
All right. I guess we should go ahead and give away go ahead and do the answers for the thinking cap. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The first automobile that was powered by gas power engine. It's not Henry Ford. That's what everyone's like first thought is. He came up with the assembly line to mass produce it, but it was Carl Benz of Mercedes-Benz fame. Okay, let's go to the next one. The ABS. What does that stand for, Ron?
It's one of those four.
Anti-lock brake system.
Anti-lock brakes. Yep, it keeps your brakes from locking up. So, all right, we do have the results. We do have a winner for January. Clear winner, Oliver Maiva.
Congratulations.
So
Oliver.
I'll be reaching out to him, send him his prize for the thinking cap. We did come up with a new design for the mugs, so we'll send that out. Jane got her. She said it was really good. So, all right. I guess we can go ahead and close out. Let's go through some greetings. Tech. Yeah, let's switch over to some greetings. Oh, we got this one. All right. Oliver Villanueva, our winner. He said, our first family car was a Beetle. Mom and dad, 4 siblings, and we fit. We went to a flooded road. We flew. I remember those Beetles. Those were pretty cool.
Punch buggies. We call them punch buggies.
And you know those Beatles? There's 8 of us in the family because there's 6 of us siblings plus my parents, and we actually all fit in the car.
Oh wow!
Which I'm totally surprised.
All right, what else we got? See, we got a greeting from Don Jazz there in Louisiana, saying good morning to us. Let's see, Johnny Collins. Yes, thank you for joining from Biloxi. Let's see, Victor Novello greeting us also. He's up there in Blue Ridge. Renz Diaz. I need to get him on one day. Talk about movies. He's here in Fort
I'd love
Worth.
to talk about movies.
Let's see. We got Mario Oka from Brixtonville. No Mario there. I need to fix things. We got some of the text cut off. Foy Francisco from Jacksonville joining us here today. Who else we got? Matt Guy. Good morning, watching from Lubbock. Let's see. Ivy Villanueva, thank you for joining us here this morning. Let's see, we also got from Dallas. Let's see, Mel Andres here also in Fort Worth. Let's see, Leah Dayrit, and we'll do one more. Edeluga Gutierrez, also from Dallas. Yeah, so happy to see everyone from Dallas tuning in this morning. So
And
we
just
think,
one more tune in. We have Andrew Wynn because he's from the the East Coast. So I just want to
oh yeah,
give him a
Andrew
shout
Wynn.
out.
I think he was Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we have an announcement to make. So next week, INCRadio, South Central States, we are not going to be on at 9 a.m. I got you there.
Almost had me worried.
We have a new time. We're going to do a 1-hour show next week. You have to tune in at 11:30 a.m. Okay, and it will be a 1-hour show. So that's our new announcement. So you guys can sleep in. I can sleep in. All right. We would like to thank our INC station manager, Brother Wally Tarai, our CFO coordinator and CEBSI president, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, and also our executive minister, Brother Eduardo B. Manalo. We thank you all for joining us here this morning. We hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next week at the new time and
Same place, new time.
yeah, same place, new time. All right. Have a good one.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.